Welcome in, everyone, to Extreme Talk presented by Complete Real Estate. A little bit different open today, working with a little bit different setup. So, just kind of shake things up a little bit for the last show of the season. But looking forward to looking back over the season and looking back over everything that has happened. Um, First off, I'll give out some thank yous. Of course, Extreme Talk is presented by Complete Real Estate, where experience and integrity matters. And like I said, I'll give out some thank yous to them, and some other folks as well later on in the show. But right off the bat, I do want to give a big congratulations. Obviously, Elephant in the Room didn't do a show last week, and was traveling back from Florida. Myself and my family, we actually stayed down there after the 8-man tournament and helped with the 11-man tournament. Did some PA announcing and some stuff like that. So had a little fun with it, little getaway, and so it was a good time. Just to kind of have some family time, but also just get to see some more football and help out Mike and Hank St. Dennis with the 11-man tournament. So obviously not doing a show last week. There were games that happened the weekend after the national championship, and we'll get to that in a minute. But first off, I want to give a big congratulations to Cornerstone Christian, the Chargers, with the 66-18 win over Springwood to win their first AISA Conference Championship game. So congratulations to Cornerstone Christian Columbiana. I'd like to give a congratulations to the Pack Panthers. Big win over the Augusta Eagles in the SIFA championship game. That was last Saturday, the 18th, 60-22. Panthers get the win in that one. So congratulations to them on winning their championship. Over in North Carolina, had a barn burner of a game. It would have been a week ago this past Friday. Yeah, a week ago this past Friday. Rocky Mount Academy, 38. Wayne Christian, 32. Rocky Mount Academy, to my knowledge, winning their first conference championship game there in the NCISAA. So Rocky Mount and Wayne Christian both finished with an 11-2 record. So congratulations to the Eagles from Rocky Mount. And if I'm not mistaken, let me see where Wayne. Okay, so Wayne Christian's from Goldsboro. Rocky Mount is from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. So congratulations to them. Let's jump over to Heartland and Kansas was done. Northern 8, Mississippi. Let me say this, okay? Mississippi's championship games, if you didn't get a chance to watch it, I think the YouTube channel is Raider Nation or Raider Athletics, one of the two. Those championship games, they have a 1A and a 2A. Just phenomenal games. Phenomenal games. I know the 1A game came down to the last play of the game where Sharky Isaquina had to scored a touchdown on the last play of the game to win the championship over the MAIS 1A championship over Calhoun Academy, 32-26, and that one was a lot of fun to watch. I even had a really cool feed of the control panel, like the kind of like what the producer saw during the game and all the camera feeds and everything that was happening. Love it. Love it. Couldn't get enough of it. The other MAIS game, the 2A game, DeSoto and Newton County Academy, that one came down to the wire as well. DeSoto coming in unbeaten, and they get the win over Newton County. Newton County only coming in with one loss, but DeSoto finishes the season 14-0 with a 32-28 win. Big out of Mississippi there. A lot of good 8-man football down there. So congratulations to the Thunderbirds on winning the MAIS 2A championship. Let's go to Georgia. Georgia had their championships last weekend as well. I'm talking about the weekend of the 16th, 17th, and 18th. In the GISA, Westminster Schools of Augusta, only one loss on the year. They didn't add to that. Took home the GISA 8-man championship 35-14 over Windsor Academy. So congratulations. I believe it's the Wildcats. Let me double check. And it is the Wildcats. So congratulations to the Wildcats on the championship win there in the GISA. The other conference there in Georgia, the GAPPS, they had 2 championship games. Let me make sure I got both of them pulled up. Oh, first, let's go to let's finish Georgia. So Georgia 1A, 8-man 1A, Vidalia Heritage, 68-48 win over Trinity Christian School of Griffin. So congratulations to Vidalia Heritage. I believe they are the Eagles. Yep. So congratulations to the Eagles on that win. And then over in 2A in Gaps, Sherwood Christian took on Unity Christian. Sherwood coming in unbeaten on the season so far. They actually won the championship last year against Unity Christian, and Sherwood had just rolled through the season. No problem. I think their closest game, let's see, maybe 65-38, 64-32, 48-22, I think is going to be their closest game. So no trouble through the season. And then Unity Christian showed up and just took it to the Eagles. Unity Christian wins the GAPPS 2A 8-man championship 52-24. Congratulations to the Lion on that one, Lions. Like I said, it's a rematch of last year's championship game. Sherwood got the better of them. So congratulations to them. And then I wanted to mention in South Carolina, Jefferson Davis Academy, Holly Hill Academy. This was a big one. And Jefferson Davis comes away with the championship win 20-14. A lot of good teams there in the SCISA. Richard Wynn Academy had a great season. Wardlaw Academy was solid. SCISA, very, very solid conference with 8-man football. But Jefferson Davis, 20-14, so pretty good championship game there. You can't argue with that one too much. So those are all of the championship games, the conference championship games that happened that the weekend after Nationals. And of course, we had the live version of Extreme Talk 2 weeks ago today from down there at Laguna Beach Christian Resort, the Promised Land Chapel. Had a lot of fun with that live show. That was fun, and able to do that. But let's back it up. Let's talk about the games that happened on Monday the 13th there in the NHSA National Championship Tournament. And I'm going to start with technically the consolation game, if you will. Tri-State Crusaders, the Fort Wayne King Crusaders, took on the Tennessee Heat, both teams having lost on Saturday. And Fort Wayne, man, they absolutely brought it. Corbin White, I believe it's Corbin White. Yep, Corbin White. 13 of 21, 234, and 3 touchdowns. He also rushed 11 times for 111 yards and 3 touchdowns. So White responsible for 6 touchdowns on the day. And then you also had Cy Young with 7 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rolling through the defensive stats real quick. Corbin White, same thing. 13 total tackles. Elijah Wood, 4 tackles for loss, so they led their teams in those categories. Elijah Wood came up with 4 sacks on the day. Just absolutely went off against that Tennessee Heat defense. And then in terms of interceptions, Cy Young had 2 interceptions for the Kings Crusaders. So really good, really feel good, a big feel-good moment for the Kings Crusaders coming down from Indiana and losing that game, that tough game on Saturday to Evangel. Great feeling for them. For the Tennessee Heat, They finished the season 7-7. Now, three of those losses were 11-man games, but down the stretch, man, lost to Freedom in the the conference championship, the SEAC championship, and then you lose the two games in Florida. So you end the year on a 3-game skid. Apologize about that, but a tough go of it for the Tennessee Heat here at the end of the season. So we'll see what happens with them. For Fort Wayne, supposedly they are going to be help. They're going to help start the first 8-man football conference in Indiana, is my understanding. So love to see it, and we'll definitely try to get some more info on it and try to keep an eye on it and keep an eye on 8-man football there in Indiana. The other game that happened on Monday was the NHSA National Championship game. Pack Panthers came into the game 13-1. Evangel Christian, they came in 13-0. I mean, this was going to be a dogfight. At least everybody thought. Early in the game, Jance Lamb is knocked out for the Pack Panthers. A couple things happened in the game back and forth, and Evangel runs away with the game. Let me see if there was a score tracker. Yeah. It was 22-8, 29-8, 36-8 at the half. Pat came back and forced a turnover on downs. First drive of the second half. Scored an 89-yard touchdown, Cam Humans. So 36-14. It's like, okay, let's see what happens. Nah. Evangel grinds it out. Caleb Austin with a touchdown run, 43-14. Cade Joyner, touchdown catch from Kemp Swords, 49-14. And that was the final score. So Evangel Christian, 6 straight national championship wins. So congratulations to the Lightning. Just a dominant stretch of football. And this is the third straight senior class that if they were there for all 4 years, they won a national title. All 4 years. Can't say that a lot of places. So congratulations to Evangel Christian for winning the 2023 NHSA National Championship. Let's see. All right, so that's all the championship games. That's the games from Monday. It's the games from that weekend. All right, so want to go through some of the bigger games that happened this season. Of course, we're on the road to broadcast and hated that. Hated not being able to broadcast games. But I definitely kept an eye on some of the games happening around 8-man. And so I'm going to give, in no particular order, I'm going to give some of my best games of the season. And they can be postseason, they can be regular season, but just some of my favorite games from the season. I think number one, really at the top, I think you've got to go Evangel Franklin Christian. Evangel Christian, Franklin Christian playing the first Friday of October. That game lived up to the hype. I mean, it was a dogfight. I dare you. I dare you to try to argue a better game in terms of the build-up, the anticipation, the way it played out, the way it ended up. There wasn't a better game. I mean, Springwood, Cornerstone Christian, Columbiana, the 44-42 overtime game. I'll give you that one. That's fair. But in terms of a number one, number two, hey, we're going at it. I don't know, man. I mean, it'd be tough to tell. Let me back up a little bit. Let's see. Let me look back through the players that won Player of the Week. And let me just check a couple of these games just to make sure I'm not missing anything. No, that one wasn't. Oh, well, I mean, early in the season. Early in the season, you did have Russell Christian and Cornerstone Christian Rainsville, the game that went to overtime. I think the final score was 62-54, something like that. So that was a good one. Um, I wouldn't say highly anticipated like Evangel Franklin Christian or like Springwood Cornerstone, but it was a sleeper, really good game. Um, Anticipated games. I mean, maybe Jacksonville and Russell earlier this season. Let me see. Let's see. Jacksonville Christian here, here, here. Jacksonville Russell. That one didn't really live up to the hype of what everyone was hoping for. Let's see. Mm, trying to think about championship game rematches. Or just, big matchups. Uh, I mean, you could go. Oh, well, you could go with Arundel Parrott and I think it was JP2, which that was the same weekend. In all fairness, let me double check. I think it was Arundel Parrott and JP2. Yeah, Arundel Parrott and JP2. I I would probably put that game, which again, the FCA Evangel, the thing about it is you're looking at out of state teams matching up. A big interstate battle. Um, Lighthouse Tennessee Heat earlier in the season. That ended up to be a good game, and I'm not even talking about Gatlinburg. The Lighthouse Pack, the way that played out at the end, that was fun. That was a big one. Let's see. Other big interstate games. Yeah, Arundel Parrott JP2. You could put that up there. Let's see. I mean, you could say Holgate. I think probably the third game. See, there's no like interstate games though. That's what I'm saying. Unless you look at the HC. Oh, Sunrise and Destiny. And now, granted, same conference game. Evangel Franklin Christian wasn't. But that was a good one. That was a good one. I'll I'll give them that. Destiny and Sunrise. Those would probably be my top three games this season. Um, if I had to do a top three, I mean, I could, the top 10 kind of, but Evangel Franklin Christian, Arendelle Parrott JP2, and then Destiny Sunrise. That'd probably be my top three in terms of anticipated games. I mean, you could put Pack and Lighthouse up there. That's an option too. But those three they're probably up there quite a ways in terms of everyone looking for. And it's so hard with the early season games too, because early in the season, yeah, okay, a guy reels off, gets two or three wins under their belt, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, they're going to win the first two or three games. What about this game? And then there's a barn burner game, and then as the season goes on, everyone kind of sees how good those two teams were, and you know, you kind of look back in retrospect and you go, oh, you know what? That was a great game. It was kind of a slept-on game. So, say another one. If you're that now that's regular season. If you're talking about postseason, I mean, you could pick any of these close championship games. You could pick. I think probably the if I had to pick shocker of the year, it would have been Tuscaloosa Christian, Jacksonville Christian. That's probably my jaw drop. What just happened? Did not see that coming game. I mean, for real. So Jacksonville Christian and Tuscaloosa Christian. It's probably my vote for shocker of the year. But that's just me. So anywho, so those were my favorite games of the year. Like I said, I didn't get to broadcast. I did get to broadcast the Franklin Christian Evangel game, broadcasted the SEEK championships. The CFA championship game was phenomenal. The Tuscaloosa Jacksonville and the championship, or Tuscaloosa and Russell rather. Tuscaloosa and Russell. That game was a blast to broadcast. So didn't get to broadcast a lot of games this year, but the ones that I did get to, they were solid. There were a couple blowouts, but all in all, it is what it is. Um, Now that's not the last games of the season that are going to be broadcasted in December. And let me pull this up real quick because let's see, it's coming up December 16th, which is one, two, 2 week. Well, hang on. 3 weeks from yesterday. So 3 weeks. We're under 3 weeks left for the 2023 Gatlinburg Rising Stars game in the junior and senior 8-man All American Bowl, and they'll have the 11-man All American Bowl as well. But those games are coming up very soon. We'll have the broadcast. The idea right now is to have the broadcast of all the games. That's the plan. Whether that plan happens remains to be seen, but I think that's the plan, and I think we're going to be able to pull it off. But we'll see as we get closer, kind of figure out how we're going to set this all up. It'll take a little bit of coordination for sure, but very excited to. I've seen the rosters for some of these games. There's a lot of talent here, man, and they've done a great job of building that tournament up. Not the tournament. I'm sorry, the games, the sets of games. They have done such a great job. Andrew Caps, that whole crew at Rocky Top Sports World has done a phenomenal job of building that up from a flailing 8 and 11 man All American Bowl that, had 13 players from one team, and it was poorly run, and the guy that set it up bailed on everybody, and just a bad situation. And they have turned it into such a great situation, and such a um, man, such a phenomenal situation in terms of you know kids look forward to that game. That is a marquee game now. That's what you're trying to get to. If you don't win your championship, or even if you do, it's like, okay, I want to go to this All American Bowl. That's the new goal now for a lot of 8 man and 11 man players in the homeschool and the small private school communities. The 11 man roster stacked too, so that's going to be fun. But so we'll have the broadcast of those games, and that'll be on December 16th. We'll be out there filming some content, I think on the 14th and the 15th, and then we'll have that content hopefully for you after that weekend, and be able to have a little bit of fun with it. But yeah, that will wrap up the 2023 season there in Gatlinburg in December, and then we'll kind of be looking forward to the 2024 season. But before I do that, I want to give a big thank you to a lot of people. Uh, First and foremost, uh, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Um, I would like to thank God for safety of travel for the games that were broadcast. I would like to thank him for the peace that eventually I was able to get through the season. Obviously, you always miss something that you've done every Friday, every weekend for 7 years. Um, but I'm very thankful that I was able to come to terms with it and adapt and make the best out of it. Make chicken pot pie out of chicken scrap. That's essentially what it boiled down to. Was able to still do the show every week, able to do Extreme Player of the Week. And that being said, I would like to give a big thank you to Fairlife Core Power. Um, they've been a sponsor for 3 years, and the guy that is the regional sales rep. Hang on just a second. Much better. All right. The guy that's the regional sales rep, the main contact, um, huge supporter of 8 man football, and loves being able to help us give coverage and exposure and recognition to these young men. So very, very thankful for him and for Fairlife Core Power. Very thankful for Complete Real Estate and Coach Ryan Scott, who helps run that, and um, really thankful for him sponsoring the show this season. The original plan was to have the show in his office, the Complete Real Estate Studios, and kind of had to call an audible on it. But very thankful for him and his support, and the fact that that the offer was there, the support was there. That means a lot. It means a lot. Want to give a thank you to my family who you know, obviously didn't broadcast all year, but here at the end of the season, had some broadcasts happen. Yesterday was kind of a weird day. First time in 4 weeks, because I helped with the 11-man tournament. First time in 4 weeks I hadn't done anything in terms of football on a Saturday, and it was a little strange. But through that stretch of having a few games here and there to broadcast, um, very supportive. My wife was very supportive, very helpful. Um, and so I'm very thankful for that, and I really appreciate that from them. Um, I want to give a thank you to all of the coaches and the players and the athletic directors and the schools that I got a chance to interact with throughout the season. All the coaches that came on the show. I did keep a list of them, actually, and I'm going to give them a thank you here real quick. Coach Tim Smith, Coach Kyle Collins, Tim Johnson, Tim Yeomans, Adam Chalmers, had Andrew Capps from the Gatlinburg All-American Bowl, David Humphreys, Joey Birch, Tommy Miller, J.J. Duarte, Charlie Rogers, Steve Adams, Daniel Pugh, Jordan Flanders, Jared Adams, John Teasley, Anthony Rippenauer, Tim Moore, David Arsenal, Ryan Scott, Lael Barkman, and Greg Ferguson. Very, very thankful for all those men for taking time out of their day and coming on the show when they did. Really appreciate that. Had some great conversations with them. I mean, just good, solid stuff that even I finished and I was like, man, I'm motivated. I want to go do some stuff right now. So very thankful to those men and thankful to all the players and everyone's support. Um, it's always really cool to see, people how people support and back you up and they're on board for what you're trying to do. Um, we did hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, so excited about that. Yeah, baby. Let's see. In the last 90 days, let's see. We went from 1,959, then it jumped up. I think the biggest jump was the 10th and 11th with Florida. I think we got up to 230, and now we're at 255. 2,055. Thank y'all so much. The support is incredible. Added 80 subscribers in the last 28 days. So thank y'all for that. I know Instagram has grown, Twitter's grown, the Facebook has grown. So just the support from you guys has been phenomenal, and really, really appreciate that. Want to give a thank you to Mr. Mike St. Dennis, Mr. Hank St. Dennis from the NHSA. Obviously, went to the tournament this past year, a couple weeks ago, and every time they are phenomenal in terms of putting us up and feeding us. Of course, Evangel is involved in that too, and some good food. Not gonna lie, it's some good eating. But very thankful for Mr. Mike and Hank St. Dennis. Um, just really getting on board and helping us bring coverage and exposure to these athletes and giving us the opportunity to broadcast big games like this without there being a bunch of red tape and hoops. That's really, really cool. Um, like to give a thank you. I know it's kind of a future thank you, but a thank you to Mr. Andrew Capps and Rocky Top Sports World for being a great partner with us. I mean, every year, it's hey, let's hammer out all the fine details, but you guys are going to be back to broadcast this, the All American games, and so really love the partnership with them. Um, yeah, it's going to be a great game, and I'm looking forward to that. I love that they've done a 8-man juniors game. Just more athletes that can get up to Gatlinburg and show out and show off and show up and just kind of do their thing and ball out up there in the mountains. Absolutely love it. Want to give a thank you to all the people that have helped me here at the end of the season with the broadcast. Obviously, first and foremost, Mr. Spencer Thompson. Whenever the end of the season gets here and there's games like this, um, if his schedule works out, he's the first to step up and jump on board, and that means a lot. There's a lot of history with him and I, and 5 years he was on board and we were doing games, and then the last 2 seasons he's kind of jumped on, done some of the end of season stuff. But it's always fun to work with Spence, and our work ethics. I think they speak for themselves in terms of our respective. Mine in terms of behind the scenes stuff, his in terms of presenting a good product on the air. So I really appreciate him. Want to thank Coach Adam Chalmers, coach at Riverside. He hopped on the broadcast for the Freedom game, the Freedom Tri Cities game, and he hopped on the broadcast there, ran the camera, helped with that. Um, so I'm very thankful for that. Want to give a big thank you to Mr. Blake Biggs for doing commentary on the CFA championship game. Came over from he's in school at Mississippi State right now, but came over from Starkville and helped us with that game. Big thank you to Mr. Eli Cornett for helping with commentary on the SEEK championship game. Both of those guys, it's their second year in a row doing that, each one having that game, and it's a lot of fun with those young men. They have done a great job, and if they ever wanted to get into broadcasting, they have a very bright future ahead of them for sure. And then we get to Florida, and I'm very thankful for the crew we had in Florida. Spencer was down there, but Brennan came back. Brennan did. Actually, Brennan and Spencer both did Gatlinburg with me earlier this season in August. Did the All-America, the Black Bear Brawl. And then Brendan came back and helped with the tournament in Florida. He'll be there for Gatlinburg, the All-American Bowls. But Brendan, man, every time just brings it. And then even off air, hanging out in a personal atmosphere. He's a great man. He's a great dude, great man, a lot of fun to hang around. So very, very thankful for him. Really appreciate him. Lastly, in Florida, I had three young men, and I think you saw. I don't know if we posted the pictures or not, but three young men. I'm not going to get these names wrong. I'm going to get all these names right. I'm going to nail it this time. So three young men helping us out in Florida. First one is Alex Chasen. And Alex primarily was on the field. He did, he worked the sideline camera whenever he wasn't the sideline reporter. And then he was the sideline reporter for 2 games. The other guy on the field was Jamie Martinez. And Jamie was sideline reporter for 2 games. Then he ran the sideline camera for 2 games. And also, they helped out with, lastly, Theodore Fernandez was the third young man that jumped in there, teamed up with Jamie and Alex, and then Spencer, Brendan, myself. We were a unit. I mean, we went through some stuff in Florida at that NHSA tournament. That was a riot, wild situation, but very, very thankful for those 3 young men, and looking forward to possibly having them, come back and help with some broadcasts. But very thankful for them, and I think. Let's see, Jamie ran the camera for the live Extreme Talk a couple weeks ago, and then Alex and Theodore were in the back kind of running things with Spencer. So very thankful for those 3 young men and the fact how they jumped in and just kind of contributed on a massive, massive level. So very thankful for them. So Alex, Theodore, Jamie, Brennan, Spencer, Eli, Blake, and Coach Adam. Very thankful to have all of them on the mic, have all of them talking and contributing during the broadcast, being color and sideline and all that. That was a lot of fun. It was very, very appreciated. So very thankful for that. And I think that just about does it for the 2023 season. Of course, this is the season finale of Extreme Talk, and we won't have a show around Gatlinburg. We'll just do that one-off with the broadcast, and then we'll have a little bit of content from the we'll probably do the mic'd up again during the practices. It's a lot of fun whenever we're able to get that. So we'll have that. We'll have some highlights and, just kind of kind of have a little bit of fun with Gatlinburg, and then it'll be reset. Get ready for 2024. I would love to be able to get back on the road and broadcast games on a weekly basis, maybe a couple games a week. But it takes time, obviously, but it takes people and it takes money. And I'm always looking for help with people that want to get into broadcast. I think it's a great situation for someone that wants to get into broadcasting or is already kind of getting into it but wants to get some experience and some reps. Younger folks that this is a perfect situation for them to get involved with it. So, if you're interested in it, especially a younger person, you want to, you like talking about sports, you want to see different teams, games, let's go. Reach out. Let's work something out. And then in terms of the travel, and again, myself, no one with 8 Man Extreme, we don't make money off these sponsors. All the sponsor money goes to travel costs and equipment costs. And so if you want to be a sponsor, kind of like Complete Real Estate or Fairlife Core Power, just shoot us a message, shoot us an email, 8manextreme@gmail.com, at 8manextreme on all the social medias. And if you know of someone that might be a potential sponsor, might be interested in sponsoring, shoot them the info. Reach out to them. Talk to them. It's really just giving exposure to these athletes at the end of the day is what the main goal is. And so, like I said, takes people, takes money. And both of those don't come very easily. So, but I would love to get back on the road next season. Obviously, we'll still be doing Extreme Talk. Would love to still do the games. Looking forward to seeing what happens next season. But before we get to next season, we've got Gatlinburg. Less than 3 weeks away, December 16th, Rocky Top Sports World. You'll have the Gatlinburg Rising Stars game. You'll have the Gatlinburg 8-Man All-American, Junior 8-Man All-American games, the Senior 8-Man All-American games, and, of course, they will have the 11-Man All-American game up there that we'll broadcast as well. So that's coming up less than 3 weeks, and then after that, put a wrap on the 2023 season. Get ready to head into 2024. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and look real quick. In 2024, first show will be July 7th. That will be the 2024 season debut of Extreme Talk. I'm going to do the outro a little bit different. Thank y'all so much for listening all year. I've really appreciated it. Really enjoy talking about these young men, these teams, these coaches. It's been a lot of fun. I really, really appreciate y'all. We'll see you in Gatlinburg less than 3 weeks for the Gatlinburg All-American Bowls and Rising Stars games. See ya!